The Uber receipt hit my inbox at 3:06 a.m. and sat there like a hot coin until the sun came up and I had the courage to touch it. It was a standard, "Thanks for riding with us," the kind of thing you swipe away half asleep after a night out. Only the drop-off wasn't our apartment in Little Havana. It wasn't even a friend's high-rise on Brickell. It was a motel on Biscayne with a neon pink flamingo on the sign and weekly rates advertised in bold. The fare was 12 minutes from the club where Leah said she was dancing with the girls. 12 minutes from the lie. I hadn't believed I'd hear in my own kitchen. I didn't make a sound. The air conditioner clicked. A garbage truck sighed 2 streets over. Miami before dawn is all hum and breath, like the city is bracing itself for its own heat. I lay there next to Leah, who slept on her stomach with one hand under the pillow, and I felt my heartbeat jump to a faster route. The phone lit my face blue. The subject line lit something else in me I didn't have a word for yet. My name is Alex. I'm 31. I cut hair for a living and pride for a hobby. A clean fade is the kind of thing that makes a man walk different. My father used to say, "Lines matter. The right line tells the truth." I held that sentence the way I hold a straight razor, careful, close, ready to draw a boundary when I need one. Leah is 29 and waits tables off Collins Avenue, thighs sore from carrying the city's appetite up and down a tile floor all night. She moves like she's in on a joke you want to hear. People tip better when you make them feel like that. She says service is a sport. I believe her because I've watched her come home in the blue hour with her shoes dangling from 2 fingers and the purse heavy with singles and patience. "Girls' night," she said the evening before, and kissed me with lip gloss that tasted like mango. "Nina's got a line on a DJ at Azul. I'll Uber home. Don't wait up." "I'll leave the deadbolt," I said. I said it like a blessing. That morning, with the receipt open like a revelation, I didn't shake her awake and demand a new story. I made coffee. I stood at the sink and watched the sky go from black to blue to the indecent light we get by 8. The receipt told me a few lines of truth. Lyft, Uber, taxis. The digital streets have their own diary. It said, pick up from Azul at 2049 a.m., drop off at a motel with a flamingo where nobody goes to rest, a tip, a thank you, a map. That was it, a map. That was it. It wasn't a confession, it was a line. When she shuffled in, hair wild, wearing my t-shirt like she always does on Sundays, she smiled at me and stole my mug. She sipped and grimaced like every morning we've ever had. "You look like a movie when you first open your eyes," I said. "I look like I'd fought the night and lost," she said and laughed. I did not ask why her Uber skipped home. I did not ask where the flamingo lives. I put the questions on the counter between us and covered them with eggs and toast and the small talk we do to keep the big talk at bay. If a barber knows anything, it's that you can't rush a line. You can ruin a head that way. You take your time, you check your work, you come in from the other angle to see if it holds. At the shop, my first client was Manny, a rideshare driver who likes the high fade tight enough to make a priest sweat. He saw my face in the mirror as soon as I wrapped the cape around him. "What's up, Poppy?" he said. "You look like you forgot to plug in." "Girls' night went long," I said. He chuckled. "They always do." He talked all through the sides, about tourists who want to talk in Spanish to feel like they're getting an experience, about the guy who got in and asked if Manny knew a place to see Miami without leaving the car. It was easy to laugh at other people's mess. It always is when your own feels like a shadow you could still sidestep. I lined Manny up, razor clean, and pretended not to think about pink flamingos on neon. At lunch, I opened my email again, the shared one we keep for bills and food apps and anything that needs both of us. A second message sat under the first, like a pair. Uber Eats, thank you for your order. Cheesecake, Pinot Noir. Delivered to the same motel at 30:21 a.m. I clicked the details and they laid themselves out obediently. 1 slice, 1 bottle. 1 request to leave at the front desk. No special instructions because the special thing here was obvious. I put my phone face down and stared at the tacos I hadn't touched. My hand felt hot where the phone had rested, like the truth could burn through without opening the case. The barber in me wanted to circle the head again, check the line, make sure the angles matched. The man in me wanted to take the clippers to the whole thing and start fresh. When Leah texted me at 2 come by Azul at 8, "I can get you on the list," I answered. "I'll be dead by midnight." She sent a kiss. I watched it float across the screen and land like someone else's mail. The next night, she posted stories of girls doing the same choreography every girls' night does, laughing at the camera, clinking glasses, pretending the phone isn't the point. Neon blues, whites of teeth, the hand from off frame pulling her into another friend in a loop of familiar. I watched them with the sound off. After an hour, they were gone. 20 minutes later, they came back. Same clip, same laugh, same caption, reposted like time had skipped. I saved one and looked at the info the way a man who cuts for a living runs his thumb along a new edge to feel if it's true. The phone said the clip was filmed at 9:37 p.m. The app said it posted at 11:49, which is fine. Stories get delayed. But the video had a reflection in the bar mirror I hadn't noticed before, and if you pause on the 2-second mark, you can see Leah in the corner with a wristband I knew wasn't from Azul. The color's wrong. The club stamps are like signatures, you don't forget them if you work in the night. It was sugar packet detail, tiny and loud to anyone who notices small things for rent. I told myself I was being crazy. Then I saw the rides again, one Uber at 2004.9 to the motel, another at 4,002 from the motel to our street. Leah came in at 4,030 and slipped into bed with legs cold from air conditioning. She smelled like hotel detergent under the sweat and the citrus perfume she wears when she wants to feel expensive. It wasn't our detergent, it wasn't a smell our life makes. In the morning, I asked the first safe question I could find. "How's Nina?" I said. "She good?" "Baby, Nina got cut early," Leah said. "She dipped at midnight. You know how her man is." "You go with her?" I asked. Leah tied her hair up with a band from the drawer and made a face at her reflection in the microwave door. "I stayed out." "Girls' night." "Yeah," I said, "girls' night." She looked at me then and saw something in my face I couldn't hide. She took a breath and smiled like she was stepping up to a mic in an empty room and needed to make sound. "Oh my God, Al, you're not... What are you thinking right now?" "Nothing," I said, and my voice betrayed me. It did the small crack a wire does when it's too hot. She came around the counter and put her hands on my chest, an old move of hers that should have calmed me and instead made the line in me go brighter. We did shots and danced. Somebody ordered food at 3 because you know me and cheesecake. I crashed on a friend's couch. It's not that deep. "Whose couch?" I asked. "Kayla's," she said too quickly. "She just moved. She's at the... what is it called? The Flamingo something." "The Flamingo Inn," I said. My voice went cool. "Weekly rates." "Don't be like that," she said. "She's between places." "Kayla," I said. "The tall one with the tattoo of the paper crane on her ankle." "Yeah," she said. "She doesn't work nights," I said. "Not at Azul." Leah's jaw feathered with a muscle she only uses when she's trying not to say what she's thinking. "I get that you feel a type of way," she said carefully. "I do, but what we're not going to do is turn my life into an episode. Don't be a scene, Alex." "I'm not a scene," I said softly. "I'm a line." She looked confused a second, then angry that she was confused, then tired. "I have to go," she said. "We are slammed for brunch." "Okay," I said, and I meant we both did. All day the shop buzzed with men talking about other men's teams and other men's mistakes. My hands did their job without help. Blades hum, hairs fall. I play the same cumbia playlist when I need my brain to stand in the doorway and let my hands drive. My last cut was a kid turning 16 with a mom who took too many photos and asked if I could make him look like he applies for internships. I made him look like himself with a little more confidence. He tipped 5. I took the tip like water. On my break, I scrolled through Leah's stories again. She had saved one under girls. I downloaded it and opened the info. "I'm not a spy. I'm a man who knows time is a tool." The clip said it was shot at 9,037. The hotel receipt came at 32:01. The second Uber hit 4,001. The timeline lined itself up without me telling it to. It wasn't that I wanted to catch her. It was that I needed to know if I was crazy. That's the worst part of being lied to. You walk around feeling like your ear is out of tune. I decided quietly to stand somewhere with good light and let the truth come to me. 2 nights later, she said, "Kayla's got me on the guest list at Azul. Come through after last call. I'll be over it by midnight." "You going with Kayla after?" I asked. She held my eyes with a cool look that said we both knew what I was doing. "If we go anywhere, we'll Uber home," she said. "Okay," I said. At 1,040 a.m., I stood in the dim lobby of the Flamingo Inn with its laminated plant in a chipped white pot and a man behind the counter who had seen too many faces and not enough IDs. Miami after 1 is all edges and sweat and boys trying to convince their cheeks to sit right. I set my hands on the cool marble and watched the elevator numbers move without moving. 5, 6, 7, stopped. 2 minutes passed. I had the kind of patience barbers cultivate by turning 30 heads a day into a life. The doors opened, and Leah came out laughing with a person whose hood was up and whose voice came out low when a joke hit. The hood slipped, and the girlfriend waitress reached to fix it with a hand that showed a man's wrist, tattooed with a paper crane. He saw me first. His eyes flicked over me and then off like a cat, checking to see if a shadow is a threat. Leah's laugh died mid-syllable and fell to the floor between us. "Alex," she said. My name came out like something she'd forgotten she was carrying. "Kayla?" I asked the man, gentle. He pushed the hood back and gave me a look that wavered between apology and a dare. "It's Kyle," he said. Leah flinched like the name hit her. "Don't do this," she said. "Not here." "This is the right place," I said. "Elevators are honest." Kyle took a step like he had something to protect and realized he didn't know which direction protection was. He put his hands up halfway. "Not my business," he said. I'm just here." "You used my email," I said to Leah, calm. "For the Uber, for the orders. You forgot we share it." Her face went still, a trick I've watched her do at the table with rude customers. She looked at me like a surgeon studies a bone before cutting. "Can we go home and talk like people?" she asked. "Not like an audience." "Are we people?" I asked. "Or did we become a story?" "Please," she said, and for a second I forgot my plan and wanted to wipe the lobby from both our lives. Kyle looked at the desk guy. The desk guy looked at the floor. The elevator doors opened for nobody. It was all very polite and terrible. "Did you use your staff discount to comp your drinks for him?" I asked, my voice so soft it barely made it across the space. Leah's mouth flattened. "What?" "Azul runs those after-hours tabs for service," I said. "I saw the receipt on the printer. You can buy a bottle at cost if you say it's for the staff and sign your manager's name." "You went to my job?" she said. Anger arrived then like a storm when you're swimming. "I cut the assistant manager," I said. "He asked if I knew you were on the short list for misusing the comps. He didn't put it in those words. He said, 'We can't keep floating her nights. He's my client, Leah. I didn't go hunting.' The truth kept showing up like it had my address written on its hand." Kyle shifted. "I'm gonna go," he said. "No," Leah said. "Too fast." "Yes," I said, just as soft, and something in my tone found the line he had been looking for. He nodded like a man grateful he doesn't have to pick a fight he would lose and stepped back into the elevator. The doors did their work. I didn't yell. I didn't ask anything else. I let the silence fill the room the way water fills a glass when you stop moving your hand. Leah looked at me like I was supposed to perform even now, to give her something to push against, to make this into a scene she could blame on me later. I didn't give it to her. "I'm not a scene," I said. "I'm a period." She blinked. "What does that even mean?" "It means this is an ending," I said. "It means I'm not here to make noise. I'm here to make a point." "You think you're so clean," she said. "You think you never wanted a thing you shouldn't have." "You're right," I said, "but I didn't bill it to my job." She laughed once without humor and looked at the ceiling like help might come from a water stain. "So that's it." "That's it," I said. "You'll come by for your things when I'm at work. I'll leave the key with Marisol next door." "Alex," she said, and the sound was softer than I deserved and harder than I wanted. "Don't," I said, and stepped around her the way you step around a spot you've just swept. Clean. Avoiding footprints. I pushed the door open and let the night slap me on the face with its dab hand. My chest hurt. I kept moving. The next day I told my landlord I would be late with the rent if I had to. I told my mother I couldn't make Friday dinner. I told my reflection I still looked like the man I was yesterday. The only person I told something that changed the world was Azul's manager. I asked Manny to set me an appointment because he's always driving near everything and knows how to make people pick up. Manny said, "You sure?" I said, "Yeah." Azul's back office smelled like bleach and something sweet trying to cover something else. The manager is a woman named Carmen who used to dance and moves like she still does when no one is looking. She had a file on the desk and a tired kindness in her eyes. "I'm not here to burn her," I said. "You're here to tell me how she lit the match," she said. "Sit." I sat. I told her the receipts lined up with the Uber and the orders and how the staff comps had turned into a personal romance budget. I didn't give details. I didn't need to. She pinched the bridge of her nose the way my father used to when I told him a line had slipped and I wanted to fix it for free. "We've been watching," she said. "The comps weren't coming back as tips to the house. It's not just a policy. The owners start asking questions. Men higher than me start thinking the problem is women in general. I appreciated your girl's grind. I don't appreciate this grind." "She's not my girl anymore," I said. "Right," Carmen said, and looked sorry and then not sorry within the same breath. "You did the right thing. Nobody's going to give you a parade. I'll just make sure this stops." "I don't need a parade," I said. "I need the truth to stand up straight." She nodded like that sentence made sense in a language we both spoke. "Go back to your life, Alex," she said. "You did enough." Leah collected her things on a Tuesday at noon when I was at the shop. She left my grandmother's photo and the mug she always used, the one that said Queen in gold script. She took her plants and the framed menu from the first bar she worked at like it was a diploma. She left a note on the counter that said, "I'm not your villain," and it made my hands go cold before I breathed and remembered life isn't a movie with one role for each of us. Clients notice before anybody else. Barbershops are confessionals with better lighting. A regular named Eddie sat down and said, "You're quiet today. She okay?" I told him it was just me now. He nodded slow and said, "Keep your line, hermano." People don't always know they're giving you sermons. They call it small talk and then go live their life while you stand there with a razor and realize you've been saved by a man who sells insurance and tips in exact change. The nights got longer when I stopped waiting for the deadbolt to click. There are sounds you don't notice until they go away. Leah used to hum when she washed her face. The absence of that hum made the bathroom bigger. The hum in my head quieted too. I stopped checking the shared inbox at 3 a.m. for rides and orders. I put my phone in the kitchen and slept like someone who didn't owe an explanation to a device anymore. I thought about calling Kyle and saying a sentence men like us sometimes need to hear, "I'm not going to come for you. That's not where I live." I didn't call. He wasn't my job. My job was to get through 3 straight days without hating myself for missing a woman who made me doubt my own eyes. 2 weeks later, I ran into Leah outside a PanCon Bistec place we both love, and neither of us wanted to give up. She looked smaller and sharper, like someone had traced her with a strict pencil. We said hello the way people who shared a bed say hello in public. She reached into her bag and pulled out a folded thing, a hotel key sleeve, and held it out to me like she could rewrite the story if she could show me the prop. I shook my head without touching it. I told Carmen, I said, about the comps. She blinked fast. "I know," she said. "I got written up. I'll probably get moved to days. I told them it was all for friends after work. I left your name out of my mouth." "Thank you," I said. She looked at the sleeve and put it back in the purse like a magician putting a rabbit in reverse. "He wasn't a boyfriend," she said. "I didn't say he was," I said. "He wasn't anything," she said. "He was the easiest feeling I could get between midnight and 2 when I didn't want to feel like a waitress." "I get it," I said, and I meant the human part, not the permission. "Do you?" she asked. "Do you get how easy it is to become the person who takes what looks easy?" "Yes," I said, "and I get how hard it is to stop." We stood there like 2 windows across an alley. I could see her, but I couldn't step through. She tucked hair behind her ear in a way I knew like my own hand, and then looked down at my shoes like she had run out of ways to ask me to remember a better version of us. "I'm not going to tell people stories about you," I said. "You don't have to make me the bad guy when you talk to yours." She smiled with the left half of her mouth, the one she uses when she's halfway to something brave. "Okay," she said. "Deal." I went home with my sandwich and ate it on the back steps with the dog from next door at my feet. The neighbor's old radio played a bachata station too loud. It felt right. Miami doesn't care if you just broke your heart. It will remind your body to move anyway. Your bones want rhythm while your brain makes lists. That's a mercy. A month later, Manny told me he'd picked Leah up going to a group interview at a restaurant that doesn't do nights. "She looked fine," he said. "She looked like she's learning to sleep." "Good," I said. I changed little things in the apartment like new skin, a different rug, a plant I wouldn't kill, towels that didn't smell like mango body wash when they got hot under the iron. I changed the passcode on the shared email and made a new one just for bills. It wasn't about keeping anyone out. It was about letting myself in without fear. I gave myself one quiet, uncomplicated gift. I printed the Uber receipt and the Eats order and the 4012 ride and put them in an envelope. I wrote on the front, "For when you wonder." It wasn't revenge, it wasn't a shrine, it was a promise. Doubt eats you if you feed it the same meal every night. Evidence is a snack for sanity. I put the envelope in a drawer and forgot it until the day I needed to remind myself the line had been straight and I had followed it. You want a big ending here. People love those. They want plates breaking and names yelled in parking lots. They want hotel doors slammed and managers shouting and someone saying, "Get out." It didn't go like that. It went like a fade done right, quiet, clean. A line drawn so true you only notice how good it is when you catch yourself in a mirror way later and think, "Damn, I look like myself again." I wasn't cruel. I was done, I wasn't loud, I was clear, I wasn't a scene, I was a period. It turns out periods aren't small. They end paragraphs. They say, we could keep going, but we're not. What would you have done when the Uber emails started stacking up, scroll past and swallow it, or stand in a lobby and let the elevator doors tell on the truth? Where's your line between keeping the peace and keeping your name when someone plays the night against you? If you want more stories like this, stick around, leave a comment, and subscribe.